Hey, I got a question. Are you the type to have no problem admitting when you're wrong, or are you the type that doesn't know how to humble yourself and always think you're right about everything at all times? And I ask that question because I find that a lot of us do things to hurt one another and we don't like to even acknowledge it. We rather just feel like the person did something to you to deserve, your nastiness or your distant behavior or what have you. And I'm trying to figure out why we're so stiff in that regard. Like we don't bend. We don't bend at all. We act as if we're God himself, who actually doesn't make any mistakes and actually have no faults. We put ourselves in his position when we behave this way because we have the biggest problem confessing that we're wrong and going to and apologize to someone that we hurt. And I'm trying to figure out why that is. If you admit that you did something wrong, that doesn't make you a bad person. That makes you a better person because you're acknowledging the fact that you did something to hurt someone else. And we all do it. It's not like you're the only one who's hurt someone in the world. We all hurt one another at some point. Sometimes we do it purposefully, and sometimes we do it without even knowing. And that's the thing. You have to be humble enough to say, you know what, I was wrong about that, and let me make amends. Pride prevents us from doing a lot of things, and pride gets in the way of good relationships and nice bonds, with one another. Pride was the first sin. Pride cometh before a fall. That's what the good book says. And honor, that prideful Lucifer was catapulted from the heavens to the grounds of the earth because of his pride. So don't let pride prevent you from having good relationships and being at peace. It doesn't feel good to walk around. Well, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody else. Because I know people who don't apologize. I know people who feel like they're always right, and I often wonder what it is within them that makes them feel that way. I don't know if it's something that they dealt with as a child, or I don't know. I just find that when we become adults, we can't make excuses for ourselves anymore. We have to grow, and in order to grow, you have to make an admission about some things about ourselves. We only grow when we realize our faults and work on them. So it's nothing wrong with apologizing to someone. It makes you a good-hearted person. Yes, I made a mistake. I was wrong for that. Forgive me. With sincerity, because it is what it is. We all make mistakes. We are not going to walk through this life and go through this life without making a mistake. That's impossible. Otherwise, we would be God himself, and we're not. So bend a little bit. Bend before you break, because if you're not flexible and you're so stiff, you're going to break eventually. You can't live your life that way, being harsh, being cold, being distant, being self-righteous, thinking that you do no wrong to other people. And as I said, pride cometh before a fall. Never think that it's a bad thing to admit that you're wrong. How could we ever ask God to forgive us of our sins if we don't admit that we're wrong? We have to be able to, have some humility and bend a little bit. It's not all about us and what we think is right all the time. Doing the right thing is not always easy. It challenges us to be better people, and that's great. We should be working toward being better and treating one another better and having better relationships with one another. We can't go around being so staunch, rude, mean, pompous, and evil. It doesn't get you anywhere. It really doesn't. Life is so much better when we have good bonds with one another. I love the people in my circle. I love everybody, actually. Even those who I feel done harm to me, I still love you. I don't have no right to hold grudges against people who hurt me. I don't live like that, because when you live that way, you have no peace, no contentment inside, no joy. Because when you see that person, they're going to change your whole mood. I'm not giving anybody power like that over me. I'm not. And then what I like to remember to keep myself humble is that over my lifetime, I'm 53. I can't even count the many times I offended the Father. And I had to go and ask him to forgive me. And I want his forgiveness. So who am I not to forgive somebody else? Even if they don't ask for it, I'm giving it. I'm not letting no one prevent me from making it into the kingdom. I'm not going to do it. So it's just something to think about. If you're a cold-hearted person and you just always think you're right about everything, pray about it. Ask the Father to show you yourself. Because you can't be right all the time. It's impossible. You cannot be. There's nothing wrong with admitting being wrong. This is the start of being right. That's the first start of being right. Admitting that you did something wrong. Don't be prideful. And one of the scriptures that I like, let me look at it because I'm not good at memorizing everything. I love the good book, but I'm not good at memorizing everything. Okay, James 5:16 says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that ye may be healed. It's healing to confess. Get that mess out. It's only Satan that makes you want to hold that in and say, I didn't do anything wrong. It's him telling you that you didn't do anything wrong. It's him preventing you from being godlike. He wants you to be just like him, and he wants you to go right where he's going. Don't let him do it to you. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Grow. Do better. Be better. And have better relationships with people and a better relationship with the Father. I love your family. I pray that something I said will help you think about yourself and just do better. And even on the other side, if you're on the flip side and you're getting hurt by people, you know what? Don't allow that to fester inside of you and cause you to hold grudges and change your character. Because a lot of nice people or kind-hearted people, those are the ones that get hurt the most because people take advantage of that. Don't allow people to take advantage of you either. Get a backbone, honey. Get a backbone. I consider myself to be a kind person, taking no stuff from no one. Sure ain't. And I can express how I feel toward you and still love you because we have to correct one another. Check each other every now and again. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you love. You show one another love. And if you're a person who is taken advantage of a lot, don't allow it. You got the right to stop that. You have the power to stop people from doing those things to you. Don't be a rug somebody wipe their feet on. Be kind, be forgiving, be loving, but have a backbone. Have a backbone. Don't let people mistreat you. All right? Love your family. Have a blessed Tuesday.